So no sign of a leopard yet, but another beautiful big cat. We have found one of the Birmingham males, and he's just lying out in the open under this marula tree. And he's also trying to get out of the rain, I think, perhaps. But these animals they're used to the rain, or they do adapt to the raining conditions. They don't mind it. And you can hear it's definitely raining a lot harder now. Isn't he beautiful? And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is Mfumo, the one with that had that nasty scar in the nose. And I can't believe how well it's healed. And you know, I actually mentioned it when I saw him 2-3 weeks ago. And that nasty scar was on his nose, and I said, you know, these animals and especially these big cats, have the amazing ability to heal very well. Look how well that scar has healed. You can barely see that it's still there, or that it was there. It's incredible. It really is absolutely amazing. And I've seen lionesses and leopards in the past get injured from perhaps hunting, and some serious cuts and scars, and you think, oh, I don't know if they're going to make it, but they heal very, very quickly and very, very well. As long as they try and keep cleaning the wound, it usually heals very, very quickly. So you can see it's really starting to rain quite a lot, and the wind is blowing, quite howling actually. We're holding down our rain covers. It's fun though, it's fun. I was going to do my rain dance for you, but I can't now because there's a big male lion next to us. I'll have to save it for a rainy day. It's so wonderful to be able to sit with this big male, and we were so lucky yesterday evening when we had those two big male lions calling right next to the vehicle, so close to us. And I think this was one of them. I did see tracks of them heading, or at least one of them heading back in this direction from where they were last night. They headed north back towards Djuma, into the central part of Djuma. And I know this was the male that they found this morning. He was around the Djuma dam. And I wonder what happened to Karula and where she headed off to. It doesn't look like he's interested in moving anytime soon. Very, very comfortable there. Alright everyone, this rain is getting a bit heavy now, so we're going to leave this beautiful male lion. What a lovely surprise. It was so great to find him and see him. We're going to probably start making our way back to camp, but there's somebody in the tent. Let's see what's happening there. So we're sitting with this beautiful male again. He's moved slightly and he is out in the open. He got up and he just shook his mane, and all the water kind of shook off of him. And look at that beautiful view of him now. It's a lovely, lovely pose. Thank goodness he is here, because otherwise I don't think we'd be seeing very much. I haven't seen any movement or heard anything else around. The wind is still blowing quite a bit, and this rain, which is wonderful. It's good to have this rain. Looks like this rain is settling in. Look at that mane blowing in the wind. I wonder what happened to the brother last night. And this also happens quite regularly. These males meet up for a day or two, they'll patrol an area, and then they'll split up, and then one male will go in one direction, another male in another direction, and see if there aren't any females around that they may potentially meet up with. And perhaps this male was looking for the Nkuhuma pride. It doesn't look like he found them. bit chilly at the moment, the wind blowing and the water. But that's part of being in the bush and part of a safari. See no birds calling at the moment at all. They all seem to be looking for shelter. And Teo, you're a new viewer. Welcome. It's great to have you on Safari Live. And you want to know, why is the lion in the open? Well, you know, these animals, a wild animal, it will lie where it wants to lie, and I think, you know, they do adapt to the particular weather that you are having, and they need to. I mean, they get used to rain coming and going, and it's just one of those things. Some of the other animals will look for a bit of shelter. But is there really a lot of shelter around it? Even where he was lying earlier, he was lying under the tree. He was still going to get wet there. So he's just moved a little bit, but he's not too happy about this rain. It doesn't look like it. Lying down, not moving too much. Pete, you want to know if the rain affects the lion's sense of smell? Yeah, definitely, Pete. I'm sure it does. Because what will happen is the rain will mask a lot of the scent of animals in the area, and potentially just make it a lot harder for the lion to smell or pick up on the scent of anything. And what it also does, if animals like lions have scent marked in a certain area, after hard rains, that scent will dilute quite a bit and it won't be as strong. And a lot of the times after rains, these animals may move around and start scent marking a lot more again, just to maintain the boundaries of their territory, so that other animals know where they are and which area they are moving through. So Elizabeth, these four males that form the coalition, the Birmingham males, they do meet up occasionally. But what happens, and I've seen it in the past with other coalitions, I've seen males or coalitions of 5 lions moving through in an area together. Sorry, I just want to turn something down quickly. And those lions, what happened is, especially when they get a bit older, so we had 5 lions in a coalition, and as they became a bit older, their territory was very large and they patrolled the whole territory. They would meet up occasionally, but then what would happen is you'd have 2 split off and then 3 split off, and they basically patrol different parts of their territory and they stay within those areas. And I think that's kind of happened with these Birmingham males at the moment. Even though they do meet up occasionally, it sounds like, and from what I've seen being here, 2 males are dominant and really seen a lot around this area where we are, and the other 2 males seem to be a little bit further east. But that's not to say they won't meet up again. They will definitely meet up, and they do know that they're part of the same coalition and they are related. And what happens is it just helps them keep a broader outlook on their territory and keep out any potential threat or other predators moving in and trying to take over their territory. So they will definitely meet up, but then, and again, you might find 3 of them together and then one off on his own, or you find all 4 and they'll meet up again. So just like last night, we had these two together. The other brother was with him and they were calling, roaring, probably trying to find where the other lions are. And the other brother most likely headed into the area where he thought they were, and this one headed back this direction to try and meet up with the females perhaps. We don't really know, but it does, those movements vary a lot. It's nice to sit with this male, even though it is raining. Michael, you wanted to know if the lions have oils in their fur to help protect them from the rain. I don't know, Michael. I'm not sure. I've not been close enough to a lion to check. But I would assume that they have got some form of substance to kind of help the rain drip off a little bit. But when lions get wet, they get wet. It's not like that water bucket we saw earlier that probably won't get as wet. You can see the rain dripping off his nose over there a little bit. Oh, that's a lovely view of him. Isn't that wonderful? But no, they will definitely still get wet. And this the sound of the rain on the roof, and that it's very relaxing and it's soothing. And I really do love the rain, and the sound on the roof, mainly when I'm in bed and warm and listening to it. But this is still very pleasant and very peaceful. Just scanning around to see if I don't see any other animals moving about, but nothing at the moment. This interesting comment, you wanted to know if these animals occasionally sit in the rain to try and clean themselves, and it would be a possibility. Lions are cats that groom themselves regularly, so they do try to stay clean, and I wouldn't be surprised if sitting in the rain has got to do with some of that, trying to keep the fur clean, a little bit of a wash. But I don't know. I don't know if it's a conscious thought or if it's just, well, it's raining, might as well sit it out and wait for it to stop. So I'm not too sure if it's worth leaving this line to look for anything else, because I don't think we're going to find too much, to be honest. I'm just scanning around at the moment. There's not much movement and listening. But I'm going to sit here a little bit longer and just see what happens. While I sit here, Steph managed to get a visitor in the tent. Oh no, now even the tent is having some signal issues. Jamie, what are you doing in the tent? I'm just trying to put down another cover, just to kind of protect us a little bit more from the rain. So we're fairly cozy for the moment. A little bit wet, but that's okay. But the wind is blowing, which is not ideal. The joys of a rainy safari. But again, as I said, part of the experience. And at least we can still show you some lions and chat about the lions. Or the lion. It's actually, that's such a wonderful pose. It just looks like this lion is scanning over his territory and his, I don't know if you could say his kingdom. Often the male lions are referred to the king of the jungle, and it looks like he's just scanning across the Djuma dam, having a look for any signs of, anything that might be moving past. But it's a wonderful spot that he's found there. And Paul, you say this male lion really looks like the king of Djuma. He does, doesn't he? Looks like he's been working on his hairstyle a little bit too. I wonder if that little bit of wind that we've got at the moment is helping him. Kind of slick back hairstyle. Well, just listen to that rain, everybody. What a wonderful sound. SH, the rain is definitely good for lions when they are hunting. And I was chatting about it earlier. And Sorry, I'm just going to hold this canvas cover down. So it definitely does help. And I've seen in the past, these predators do enjoy hunting in weather like this, because what happens is it masks their smell, their sound. The other animals probably won't be able to hear them or smell them. So it provides a good platform for them to start hunting and start looking for prey. And if they're moving through the bush, it does make it a bit easier to potentially stalk and try and hunt. So yes, in weather like this, it does help. It definitely does help. Not just lions, but also leopards. I think the only animal that wouldn't really, or that I've seen, I don't think would really hunt would probably be cheetah in the rain. I'm not sure. I haven't really seen it. Maybe up in East Africa and that. But I do know that lions and leopards do enjoy hunting in the rain. Sorry, just trying to stabilize this little rain cover we got here. That might help a bit. There we go. So we're going to be closing ourselves in here soon. You might not see us at all. And again, we're so thankful for the rain, because it is so crucial that we do have this rain, and it is always very, very welcome. And I expect and predict a lot more rain this weekend, so let's see. It could be very, very interesting. David, that's an interesting question. And with this overcast weather and this raining weather, David wants to know if maybe some of the nocturnal animals could get confused and come out. I don't know, David. I don't know. I don't think so. You know, it is still pretty light, so I don't think they still know that it's daytime. I don't think the overcast weather affects it that much that they think it's dark. So I don't think so. I think if anything, this rain might keep some of the nocturnal animals hunkered down a little bit longer, and they won't necessarily move around as much during the night. That's one theory, but I don't think it would cause them to come out any earlier or cause any confusion. Oh, there's a bit of a yawn. Let's see if he gives us another one. Now we know, it's always a guess really, but generally the yawning, these lions and big cats do it a lot when they are waking up. They're trying to get more oxygen into the body, so trying to wake up and potentially move around. It could just mean that they're going to get up, move, change positions and lie down again. But a yawn is often a good sign that they might start getting a bit active and moving around. But let's see, I'm curious if he yawns again. Sounds like he thought he heard something there. But he's still just sitting out in the rain. Alright, well, I think we're still going to sit here a little while longer. Let's head back to Jamie and look, this lion appears as if it wants to call. Listen, everybody. I hope you can hear it. I'll move shortly. That's all communicating, trying to find where the other lions are. I'll just have a look here quickly. Oh no, wait, let's wait. I don't know if he's going to give a proper roar. Doesn't look like it. Maybe. Well, but we will follow him. Just wanted to show you something very beautiful quickly. I've got a stowaway. Beautiful praying mantis. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? So we've got tiny little insect and a big male lion. Also trying to get out of the rain. I'm going to see if I can put you down over here next to me if you don't mind. You can have a little seat there. Oh no, he's attacking me. There we go. Alright, so I've got a passenger. Let's see if I can get to this line quickly. Now the thing is, I can't see anything around me. Not necessarily, but they do swim if they have to. And the best example of that would be in Botswana. And we have lions in Botswana, especially in the flood season, that they do. All he's done is he's moved into but an area that's a little bit more sheltered. And there he is. So half a little call, but nothing serious, and those settle down again. So Pete, there are lions that do swim a little bit in Botswana when they've got to cross channels and that in the delta, but not really often, and they'd prefer not to. But they do, and they're fairly decent swimmers. Not great, but they will if they have to. Can you hear there's another little bug buzzing around in here somewhere in the car. We've got a lot of hitchhikers today, which is all right. See, now you can see he's not very comfortable. He's not enjoying the rain as much anymore. It looks a little bit cold. It's tough to say, really. He's kind of facing the rain. Yeah, he's kind of facing the rain at the moment. But with a bit of wind, I mean, it's only when the wind blows that the rain will blow into his face, really. I mean, he's facing the wind a little bit. I'm trying to see what's making a noise. There's something in here. I don't know what it is. Sorry, let me just have a look around here. It doesn't sound very happy, whatever it is. I don't know, I can't find it. A little bug of sorts. It's just in there, and I can just hear it buzzing around our rain covers and everything that we've got in the vehicle. Well, I know how this lion feels. He's just trying to get warm. And look, oh no, he's hiding his face behind that stick. I'll have to move a little bit so we can see his face properly. Let me move slightly for us. And again, I hope there's no one or nothing behind us because I can't see. There we go. How's that? Is that a bit better? There we go. And again, now because we've got the rain cover on, or the roof on, just got to position a bit better so that we can see it. Oh, there's still some little sticks in that, but at least we can see him clearly. Looked like he heard something there for a second. Now, everyone, this morning, I had tracks of the Nkuhuma Pride, and I was wondering which direction they went in. Now, from what I saw, from the tracks that I saw, it looked like they walked across or along the Buffelshoek cut line, and then they headed south onto Djuma and near a road called Hyena. So where we are sitting now, if I can show you from where we're sitting, it was in that direction and not too far, probably about a kilometer or two, so maybe a mile, just over a mile in that direction. That's where I had the tracks and where I thought they were moving through into the block, and I thought the lions were possibly still in there. So maybe this male still meets up with them tonight at some point, if they do return a call. Or the call from the line, not an actual telephone call. Oh dear, see what the rain does to us. I managed to hit my finger on the door. That's quite painful. Sheesh. I think we deserve an extra helping of dinner this evening. Gert, what do you think?
Sure.
For pancakes. Pancakes out in the bush. Emma, you want to know if the behavior of the animals changes in this weather? Yes, definitely. As you can see, I mean, this lion's still lying down in sort of cool weather, but he's trying to get a bit of shelter. He's under that little bush, trying to get out of the rain as much as he possibly can. But again, it's not easy. I mean, you're still going to get wet out here no matter what. We definitely see that some animals don't move around as much. A lot of the antelope species, especially these young impala, or the impala with the youngsters at the moment, they will all be congregated very close together, because if they're together they can rely on one another to keep an eye out for any potential predators, and if they do see any, it's a bit easier for them to move and get out of harm's way. So a lot of the antelope species will move, not just antelope, some of the other animals too, perhaps buffalo and that, maybe move into an area and get a little bit closer to one another. Because of this rain, it's harder, as you spoke about earlier, it's harder for them to pick up on where predators might be, and they can't hear them or smell them. So they'll move into an area that's probably even a bit open so that they can see a lot better, but that's mainly at night. At the moment, with it still being light, they will still be able to see quite well, but they'll try and probably head under the trees, but in closer or congregate closer, a lot closer, so that they can keep an eye out for any danger. So it does affect the movement and behavior of animals, definitely. And I just remembered now, and we spoke about it this morning, but I believe it is Thanksgiving today. So a very happy Thanksgiving to all our American viewers. I'm sure there's some turkeys that are going to be roasted a little bit later today. Still that wonderful sound of the rain hitting the roof. I'm sure you can all hear it back home. See, now's the time that we could have a nice hot chocolate or something, or nice warm drink out here. So I wonder, maybe if we ask Rebecca or Jerry, they could bring us a warm drink out in the rain. Maybe the chances of that happening are very, very slim. Let's head back to Steph in the tent and see what he has. It sounds like it's quite fun in the tent there, trying to name all the kingfishers. Our lion has just settled down even further. He's not too happy, and its temperatures obviously dropped quite a bit, and it's getting a bit colder, especially because it's wet now, and there's still a bit of a breeze, not as windy as it was earlier, but it does make things a bit colder when you are wet and there's this cool breeze blowing past. Shall we have a look at our little praying mantis again? My passenger, who's sat very comfortably on the seat next to me, and I've just got him back again. I've got a new friend. Look at that. This little creature will be very well camouflaged in the bush. That grey coloration. Excuse my dirty hands, but it's from all the rain and the mud and the covers that we've had to put on. I just want to turn him slightly. Look at that. Look at those big eyes. Oh, that is so cool. Very, very interesting. Isn't that amazing? Looks like he's got little stripes in between the eyes. See his big front legs tucked in. And that little leg of his, and I don't know if he's got a cramp, but he's been stretching it a lot, so I'm not sure what he's doing with it. Oh, look at that. Those front legs of theirs. Cleaning his mandibles a bit. They are incredible little creatures, these little praying mantis, or praying mantids. Oh, the lion has his head up now. Oh, there we go. Come on, roar for us. Please. Oh, wonderful. Look at that, shaking the water. Listen, listen, listen. Not quite a proper roar, but a bit of a roar nonetheless. And again, I think he's just trying to communicate with the other lions, find out where they are, and if they've got some shelter or food. It's feeling a little bit lonely out here, I think. Much like I am. I haven't heard any other vehicles on the radio. Luckily, Gert's here with me, but everyone else seems to have disappeared. And but at least we've got this male lion for company. And that low call that he was giving there, or that bit of a roar, not quite a full roar, but like I said, just to communicate with other lions and see if they are around or find out where they are. A lovely sound. It's so nice to hear those lions roar. But you can see he's not happy about the rain at all. He's probably getting a bit chilly. So that's why he's decided to move even further under that bush, just for as much shelter as he can possibly find. Got another little stowaway. Oh no, where did that go? Oh dear, I lost him. There was another little stowaway, but I seem to have lost him in the footwell here somewhere. Might find its way up my leg again soon. So it sounds like Jamie's back out. She's very brave. Well, that's nice. She's back out on the vehicle. Let's head to her and get an update from her. All right. I'm hoping he calls properly. Listen, everybody, listen. He has started calling again. Not quite. It started out like it was going to be a big roar. He's definitely looking for the pride. That's why he's calling, because he's facing the direction that I thought they were in earlier this morning. And hopefully he has better luck in finding them than I did. I was hoping it looked like he was going to roar. And maybe we're lucky and we do get a full roar from this male soon. That would be wonderful. I wouldn't be surprised if he does do it. I do think he may get up and start moving fairly soon. And I mean, the temperature is cooling down. The rain is not as bad as it was earlier. So perhaps he does decide to get up, start moving, and maybe a big roar to find the rest of the pride, find out where they are. Hopefully they return the call. Still drizzling slightly though. You can hear it on the roof. Would be nice if he did get up and move around for us. Alright, sorry, let's head back to Jamie, and she's got the rhino beetle she'd like to show you. The rain has settled a little bit, which is great. And you know what, we've been very fortunate to spend so much time with this lion, and I do think he may get up and start moving a little bit. I wonder if we don't continue on our drive, and let's use the spotlight. It is dark enough now. Maybe we're lucky and we get some nocturnal movement for the last 20 minutes or so, or 25 minutes of drive. And I think maybe with the rain, who knows, hang on. Oh, come on. One big roar for us. So I'm asking very nicely. There we go. Oh. Come on. Well, that was two big roars. Incredible sound. I absolutely love it. It's definitely my favorite sound in the bush. I think is that beautiful lion roar, especially when you get this close to them, and if you are lucky enough to experience it in real life, it is incredible. It's an amazing sound. And now that will all be communication with the other lions to find out where they are, as I said, trying to work out what they are up to. And I wouldn't be surprised if we find these lions this evening moving around, or even tomorrow, if they've managed to kill something, especially because of this weather that we had, overcast, rainy weather, and there is a good possibility. But I think let's stick to our plan. Let me get the spotlight quickly. And with all this rain, and it's just cleared up now, which is very, very nice. Let's move on and see what we can find moving around at night.